1 year ago, I moved from this beautiful postcard Switzerland to a much more chaotic reality, which is that of Lagos, Nigeria. So Lagos is the economical capital of Nigeria, representing 20 million people. Nigeria actually is the biggest country in Africa in terms of population and GDP. It's estimated to have 180 million people, which means that 1 out of every 5 African is Nigerian. So how does my day-to-day compare to yours? Just to give you another idea, the roads look more like this. So when raining season comes around, which is right now, it gets very chaotic. To get here today, it took me 4 hours from the island to the mainland, which is a route which should have only taken me around 40 minutes. And if you are lucky, you have your own generator, because unfortunately, the grid is not spread out, and we only have a few hours of electricity per day. So you have a generator for the rest of the day. But even with the generator, you have to count, on average, 10 power cuts per day and night. And imagine what this means for every equipment that you use, such as your refrigerator. So they usually come with external batteries to withstand the power cuts. Now, this still shocks me. In a country of oil, Nigeria, this is witnessing fuel shortage. We have big issues on average 2-3 times per year, and it's happening right now. The problem is that everything is powered by fuel. So quickly, banks, offices, telcos will shut down, employees will not be able to go to work, and business will take a major hit. We will wait tens of hours in line to get some fuel. In terms of communication, so those with smartphones, and the penetration rate is quite high, we have the possibility to put several SIM cards. The brands that we have there is more Dubai and Chinese brand. And why several SIM cards? Because as soon as one operator malfunctions or saturates, we can automatically go to the next operator. So it's not uncommon that you will see several, 3, 4, 5 numbers on a Nigerian business card. But this is one reality. It is true that when I said Nigeria, you probably thought of Boko Haram and corruption. And these are realities, and they are horrific, but it's not the only reality. There's actually something much bigger happening in these markets, one of a very vibrant, dynamic, and young ecosystem that is changing the status quo. And for every pain point that I cited earlier on, there are entrepreneurs in Nigeria, but like Colombia or Indonesia, that are changing the status quo and elevating the lives of their citizens. So that you have an idea and an understanding of what emerging markets means, by 2030, 87% of the population will be in emerging markets. And by 2020, a couple of years from now, over 80% of all smartphones, not simple feature phones, smartphones, will be located in emerging markets. 2015 was the year when emerging markets took half of the global GDP. Internet penetration is getting faster and faster in all these regions. And if we just look at a social network we all know of, that of Facebook, actually the cities with the highest number of users are found in emerging markets, cities like Bangkok and Jakarta. This is how we see the world map. And in terms of market opportunity, usually one indicator is GDP per capita, because it gives us a good indication of the purchasing power of our potential consumer. And as you can see, what we call the Western world is green. Now, this same region suddenly becomes red, because this is how I like to see the world, through different lenses. That of the percentage of people without internet. Because this means for me an opportunity. Today, there are over 4 billion people without access to the internet. This means 4 billion opportunities, 4 billion potential consumers, and more importantly, 4 billion citizens to connect. No wonder that big technology companies such as Facebook or Google are taking it seriously and investing heavily in building an infrastructure, a sustainable one, to bring internet to those without in these regions. Only in the next 4 years, 430 million new users will go online, thanks to these markets. So what is the opportunity? Technology. Technology is changing the game. We are seeing adoption is getting faster and faster, and the speed of current breakthroughs has no historical precedent. So for example, remember that it took us over 100 years to get to 1 billion users for the telephone, and less than 10 when it came to the smartphone. It is getting faster and faster, and technology has an impact. But what does this have to do with emerging markets? What we are seeing for the past years in these markets is that actually they are leapfrogging an existing technology directly to a more efficient, less costly, more modern, and more importantly, many times more sustainable technology. The most famous example being that of skipping landlines directly to mobile phones. Let's look at payments. It all started 300 BC during the Roman Empire with checks. Then we massively adopted cash and credit cards. And today in Europe, we're finding the first solutions to pay by mobile payment solutions using technologies such as near-field communication or cryptocurrency. But mobile payment has been happening way back in 2004 with the company GCash in the Philippines. Why? Because Philippines is a population of 90 million people spread out in over 7,000 islands. It was a major issue to be able to transfer money from one island to the other. So from that emergency, they built the technology so that they could make the payments through mobile phones. Today, mobile phone market has completely saturated. So there are approximately 110 mobile phones for every 100 Filipino. But this same population still represents 80% unbanked. Or let's look at M-Pesa in Kenya, another major success story of sub-Saharan Africa. So again, the technology of using the simple airtime to be able to use normally for calls and convert into data, but now we can use it to pay back loans, fuel, and any product and service. 81% of all mobile money services in developing markets are actually found in sub-Saharan Africa. Who would have thought? This is how we have powered cities in Europe. Whereas in countries like Brazil, Indonesia, or South Africa, we have entrepreneurs that are finding innovative solutions, microgrid solutions with a more sustainable technology to bring electricity to those without. Check out this entrepreneur, which has actually understood that the end life cycle of a battery for an electrical car in Europe can actually still withstand 5 years and generate schools in India or Kenya. Or we have Juabar from Tanzania, which is a smart low-tech technology, a solar-powered kiosk, which allows you to charge your phone. Why? Because fortunately everyone has a mobile phone, but not everyone can charge it. And finally, a solar-powered water heater coming out of Mexico, promising to reduce by 80% the consumption of gas. So what if? What if we had drones flying over Costa Rica to help farmers optimize their crops? What if we had intelligent bins that help maximize routes more efficiently in the cities of Istanbul? What if in these same regions we had solar-powered roads? And what if in a country like Rwanda, we had the first ever drone airport in the world, where the government would actually change the regulations to allow these aerial vehicles to fly over, and would collaborate with international companies to help transport blood supply from one hospital to the other? The what if is actually already a reality in these markets. It is because of entrepreneurs, women and men, that are redefining each industry and the status quo in their region. Entrepreneurship and technology is the game changer. Thank you very much.